In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? The main indie music convention we used was that our artist used a guitar. Our video contained a few performance shots. In our case this was busking shots, and therefore the guitar was featured in these shots. We contrasted this with our narrative shots, which is often seen in indie music videos. The guitar is an important part of our artist's lifestyle, and it shows the audience that the artist makes his own music, which is often seen as an indie convention. Our artist wore dark jeans because we have seen this to be a common theme in indie music videos. As well as this, he grew a beard, so this made him look like more of an indie artist. An example of an indie artist with a ginger beard is Newton Faulkner, and he gave us inspiration. We were also inspired by Jake Bugg, as he is also an indie artist and had some interesting features in his videos. In Jake Bugg's video Two Fingers, the artist carries his guitar around, which we replicated in our video. For the chorus we used a shot of our artist on the bridge, looking out into the distance. We feel that this shows our artist's emotional side through his expressions that he shows on his face and the body language he also shows. We used location shots to show our artist's regional identity, which is a feature of indie music videos. For example, Jake Bugg walks around his hometown Nottingham in Two Fingers. How effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary tasks? The photography used in both my digipack and my magazine advert was similar to shots used in our main product. This is to make them noticeably linked and create a brand image for the artist, as this is his debut album, so he needs to be introduced into the music industry. I used the name of the song from our music video as the album name. I tried to make both ancillary tasks look like they were focused on an indie artist, much like our video was focused on, and I feel that I was successful in doing so. At first I was going to use a screenshot from our music video for the front and back of my digipack, but I changed this as the quality was not as good as I hoped, and I decided to try a similar shot when I had the chance to get a photograph of our actor. I used natural lighting for the music video photography for my ancillary tasks, to give a social realist theme. I made the bottom part of my magazine advert black and made it blend into the top part with the photograph to give it an indie feel, as it didn't look completely perfected, as many indie albums have a similar look. How did you use media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages? In the initial stages of research, we watched many different videos, but mainly indie ones, as we had decided to use an indie artist song. We watched these videos on YouTube and looked for conventions of indie music videos. For example, we evaluated whether certain props we saw used were easy to obtain and whether certain other props would be available. This led to us getting a guitar ready for our music video. We also checked whether the videos linked to the lyrics of the song. In the planning stages, we chose our production roles based on our media technology skills. While planning, we continued researching as much as we could find out about our genre. We looked for conventions to do with all aspects of the final product that we hoped to produce. We created a storyboard, but decided against using something like Photoshop or Illustrator as we wanted to be more time efficient, so did it by hand. During the construction stages, our cameraman used our Fujifilm S4200 and we edited using Sony Vegas. Since my role was mise-en-scène, I did not directly edit or film any shots, but I had input and gave my ideas to other members of the group on both counts. For example, I suggested that we should use a long shot in the park that we filmed most of our memory shots in, as I felt it was needed to improve our range of camera shots. I used Photoshop CS4 for the creation of my ancillary tasks. For my magazine advert, I used a gradient filter to give it an indie effect. I then used the text tool to add to the album title, artist name, a review quote from NME, and the price of the album. I also put a website address for our artist, as so to help expand his brand image. I put an outer glow on some of the text to make it stand out over the background image, as it was not very clear otherwise. I also added a filter over the whole photo to make the colours more interesting. I then placed an iTunes logo and a HMV logo to show purchase options. My album cover was similar to the magazine advert. I used the same photo but only used text for the album and artist name. I used a different picture for the back cover and added song name text, then I placed a barcode on it. Finally, I used the text tool to put lyrics on the inside cover. What have you learned from your audience feedback? My feedback led me to change a few things from my ancillary tasks. For example, I had forgotten to put a barcode on my album, and this is important as, although simple, it is following conventions. It was also suggested that my text should be changed due to it being a bit dull, so I added a small effect to the text to make it stand out a bit more and make it more interesting. The main change I made, however, was the slide that I named Artist's Words, because the feedback I received was negative. Because of this, I changed the text on the slide simply to the lyrics from the chorus of the song from our music video. It was pointed out that one of my photos was stretched, so I corrected this by replacing the same photo by cropping it differently, then editing it similarly to before and added the other changes that had been recommended to me. The only thing we changed about our video was that we removed some filters that were over shots that we classed as memory that we had used to differentiate between the narrative and performance shots.